Welcome to this week's episode of the Two Amazing People podcast. This week it features Tim Lee. Now, Tim was nominated by Simon Evans, and Tim founded a networking group called Collaborate MK, which just so happens to have won an award as one of the best networking groups in the country. It's a cracking watch. I hope you enjoy it, and thank you, as always, for supporting the Two Amazing People podcast.
Yeah, I've hit play anyway. I hit record.
Right.
Let me go and check it. That's it. It's now going the other way, so it's like a tree that's going up.
Yeah.
So, you come up here and it sort of grows rather than goes down. Strange, isn't it? Just turning it the other way around, different connotations. But some of that's going in, by the way. I love including stuff from side chats. Love it. But anyway, here we go. We'll start proper now.
Yeah.
Right, thank you for coming on. Do you know how this works? Have you got any idea?
No.
Perfect. So
I just go with things.
So what the setups are really simple actually. So you're on because, as you know, you've been nominated as somebody's amazing person, and I always say it's amazing. It is amazing because people can only nominate two, and especially when it's in a networking world, you've got over 300 members in your group, let alone people beyond that. So your challenge is going to be really hard when I say, so who are you nominating for your two most amazing people? But then to be put forward and go, no, out of all these people I know, in all my, and Simon's 40 odd years, 35 years, who picks out you as one of his amazing people?
Yeah.
So I start with my first question. It's saying you've been nominated as an amazing person. What went through your mind when you found out?
Yeah. Now you come to mention that with Simon's experience, and he's worked globally as well. That really has. It's not thrown me, but it's got me thinking big style towards that. If I'm held in that high respect through someone I've known for 3.5 years or so.
Yeah.
So that's. But that is what I'm all about. I'm all about forming good working relationships with people. It's so important.
That's the impact you've had.
Yeah. So that must have been, it's lovely to hear.
Isn't it?
Because I didn't realise it was quite like that. But marvellous.
It's the bit I didn't realise. There's lots of bits I didn't realise when I started doing this. Was actually the impact that it has on the person that is then nominated.
Yeah.
And equally how nice it is at the end of it for you to then nominate two people and tell them, okay, do you know what? If you want to go on the podcast, great. But I've nominated you as one of my amazing people.
Yeah.
It starts a nice conversation between you and them, which is great.
Marvellous. Yes.
So anyway, I've done a bit of research, and the whole point is, and I think I've only ever done it once where we've done it in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So I normally list down about 10 questions, and I typically take it from LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn is where you try and portray in a few words who you are, like who you want to attract. And so these questions are shaped around what I've dug into on there.
Oh, right, okay.
And I'm hoping it goes down the right path, because otherwise we're in trouble. But
never worry.
Here we go. We'll try. So my second question, I guess, and it is: you have spent 40 years in sales and business development.
Yes.
What first drew you? You have to cast your mind back now. Yeah. What first drew you into that world? Or did you just stumble upon it?
It was,
and then never left.
No, basically, no. I think it was a case of left school with reasonable amount of qualifications, nothing special. Off to college, and growing up in Liverpool, no accent whatsoever. I moved there when I was like 6, so thanks, Dad, for that career move. When I was 6, moving from Woking, so I had to grow up in Liverpool. With
you don't have the accent, but you can probably understand them much better than anybody else.
Yeah, exactly. Absolute art to it. And give me a couple of pints, and the accent does creep out. And my wife's born and bred Scouser, so she has the accent. But in a nutshell, I was at college. And we're talking early 80s here. We're talking 1980, 81. And you're at that age, an apprenticeship was all you could do in Liverpool. Yeah. There was no work. And it was at the time of the Toxteth riots and everything. So it wasn't a great deal of work. And apprenticeships was the only answer. So I just naturally wanted to be an electrician or a mechanic or something like that. And I realised I wasn't very good at either. So, and I also discovered beer. So, so I wanted to get a job. So I went on a youth training scheme, and there's about 6 of us went for a job working for Currys. So in a nutshell, I got that. Spoke to the assistant manager of the store. We were talking about music, and my music matched his taste in music, and that got me the job. And out of 6 others that went for it, 23 quid a week. And before I knew it, I was lifting washing machines upstairs and selling TVs and washing machines I worked for them for nearly 10 years.
Yeah.
But that taught me how to communicate one-to-one like we're doing now, which I think, and I don't want to skip my whole career to what I'm doing now, but I think those retail days really helped me in guiding conversations with complete strangers and adapting to people very quickly. Didn't know I was doing it in those days. You just have to in the retail world. 1 minute you're selling 20 quid's worth of something,
But
next
you have
minute,
to, don't you?
a couple of thousand.
But you have to adapt to different people, different scenarios, different circumstances. Because if you don't, and you're just that rigid person, then that's not your world.
Oh no,
you know, no.
You've got to have a clear frame of mind in the retail world, or let's say any business world, to be perfectly honest. But there, you've got to be particularly on the ball. You can't go and hide for 2 hours in an office or something in the retail world. No, you've got to be sharp as a knife, ready for the next challenge of what comes in, especially quite an aggressive business.
Aggressive, but you also have to be very personable.
Oh, yeah.
You have to be.
Yeah. People will not buy off someone that's just in their face or not showing interest.
Or they might buy once.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because the price is right. And then, we'll go there. We've got that because it's right, but we're not going back.
And they're never going to recommend you. And especially if you're now in your own business, it's all about recommendations. Well, we'll go touch into this, right?
Yeah.
Recommendations, word of mouth, your reputation, how people feel when they've come away from meeting you and being a part of this. And so you might get one sale once from being pushy and that type of person, but you put full stop at the end of that sale. It's done. It's gone.
Oh, totally. Yeah, that's it's the end of it. You know, it's all about. I mean, to fast forward without jumping too far ahead. In my later years in retail, I ran the Sony Centre in Centre MK, and that was more my own business. Wasn't a franchise owner; it was a franchise owned by the MD. But he gave us a full brief on you're in control of your full P&L, your staff, everything. Mainly because he didn't want to pay for an area manager.
Off you go.
So,
if you could just make it work for me, please.
And he did. And there's 15 of us. We're all ex-Currys, ex-Rumbelows, and all the people I used to work for in the 80s and 90s. So he employed experienced managers, and that really worked for him. Until the whole group went into administration, but that was slightly another story. You know, didn't matter how experienced the managers were. The climate just changed in 2012 completely. And prior to that, in that particular world of TVs and laptops.
But then this is what I always think: it's life, isn't it? And it gives you the opportunity to do something else, whether you know it at the time. You know, your journey's going to change direction loads of times.
Oh, totally.
And now you're on this path, right?
Oh, totally. And the reason I'm doing this is because I sold a TV to Pete Wilkeman, chairman of MK Dons. That led me to 10 TVs to being supplied to the Stadium MK. I got introduced to the commercial team at the time. Went to a few matches when it was the hockey stadium. He says,
just over there.
Just there, which is a bit weird.
It was.
You know. So the net result there was when my store did close. I was at a job I absolutely hated, and my phone went. I sneakily looked at it, and it was the chief exec of the MK Dons saying, "Would you like to be considered to join the commercial team at the Dons?" It was like, yes. Can I start tomorrow? You know, I didn't care about the salary or anything. I really just really needed
Happiness
a career
first.
change. I just turned 50, and they took a risk at the MK Dons. You know, and because I had no little black book, I knew nobody. Why would I need to know anybody outside of my store and within our network of stores? You don't do the best will in the world.
They were taking on the person, right?
Yeah, and they said we liked you when you supplied us TVs because they invited me to a few matches and a few events and that type of thing. And really, I couldn't do a great deal because we were working every Saturday. we went to Tuesday night matches, and my
Yeah.
lads, my team, who I kept together at the Sony shop for nearly 10 years, pretty much the same
Yeah.
core people. And that was down to just looking after them.
Yeah.
Looking after them. Didn't realise that at the time. We took the mickey out of each other in those quiet days.
Yeah.
That helped keep things going in difficult financial times for retail. Just glad I'm not in it these days, if I'm perfectly honest.
You're doing what you're doing now.
A mixture of too old and that market, that whole world has changed.
But it's been about keeping together and whatnot. That's the culture that you build, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I always say culture it's an accumulation of all the behaviours.
Yes.
That's what it is. And so by having that fun, enjoyable environment that you've built over the years, that becomes your culture. But then that becomes part of you, isn't it?
And it's what we do at our events.
Yeah.
We do take the mickey very often at my expense.
Yeah, I think that happens most of the time, doesn't it? Whoever heads it up is normally the brunt of it.
Yeah. And that's good. It keeps the atmosphere really strong within the group.
Yeah.
And the important thing to me is making sure it doesn't come across as cliquey.
Yeah.
But there's certain things that happened at a previous event we just repeated again at the next one. We just keep the theme going.
Yeah.
But it's very important, especially in lockdown when things are really down. Everybody on the floor. This is where we grew, in those days, because we just wanted to support each other, and sometimes just keeping smiles on faces was important. And we haven't really changed since then as a group.
But why should you?
No,
'Cause it's the
why
same.
change?
But it's the same same thing that runs through, isn't it?
Yeah.
Being a good person, wanting to support, help people,
Yes.
creating that community. Why would it change, really?
Yeah. There's absolutely no reason for it to. So
Right, we've covered about 4 of my questions.
I
now.
know. I
Do you know that?
I felt I was jumping in a bit. Sorry.
No, you're all right. Look, I got the next one. What's
Yeah.
a lesson about people that your career taught you early on that's still true today? I think it's what we just touched on.
Yeah.
Completely.
Yeah. I think it is.
It's the one thing that doesn't change, or a handful of things that don't change, is that people buy from people.
Yeah.
People buy from good people, nice people, positive, happy people. And that, again, I think once that clicks, especially if you've done it at a young age, especially when you're at Curry's,
Yeah.
great, because some people don't learn that lesson until too late in life, and they've gone through, a lot of hardship trying to work out where they're going wrong, and actually it's because probably they're trying too hard or looking in the wrong way.
Yeah. And I think going on again, flashbacks to those days now, and I think again you never appreciate it at that sort of age, 18 to I was a training manager 22 and as manager 24.
Yeah.
They moved me south, and which I was pretty pleased about at the time. But where I'm going with this is just my first 2 managers there. If they were not good managers, and those days there was no such thing as HR really. You were told what to do. You had to value your job up in Liverpool. You couldn't just walk out and go to another one.
Yeah.
It would take you 3 years to get another job. That's exactly what it's like. It's not much different now. But those 2 managers I had in the early days, I learned so much from. That helped me in my early days of retail, which went a bit wonky at times when I found myself age 24, 10 staff, knew the job inside and out, but were my management skills that good? Was it too pleasant? Probably. Sometimes it works for me, sometimes it didn't in all my retail career. But the early days didn't work so well. And I learned from that.
Yeah. So
that's just one thing. But when you run your own business in a business community, then my nature does come across correctly, because it doesn't matter. Yeah.
That's what it is.
You're not going to be too aggressive to another business owner. They'll just tell you to clear off. So just be pleasant to people.
Yeah, it's not hard, is it?
It's not. I don't find it difficult.
It's not rocket science. I say this all the time to people, but just be a good person.
Yeah.
And if you have to try and be a good person,
you
probably need to work on yourself a little bit if you don't. But
it's true.
As long as you recognise it in yourself, great.
Yeah.
But just be a good person, and that's it. You attract good people to you, and then you're doing your co-working downstairs, and you're doing it not because you all want to get on, but because you enjoy that environment you've created, and you're just good people, positive vibes. Yeah,
100%.
There we go.
100%.
Secret of the day.
Yes.
It's all right. Let's carry on. There we go. This is a good one for you. Collaborate MK recently won. I say recently, 2024.
Yeah.
Won Best Networking Group of the Year. How did it feel to have your vision? I used the word vision. I thought it was smart.
Yeah.
Vision recognised nationally. Because that's a pretty decent achievement, right?
Yeah. Yes. And there's times I do, because it's back in December, And it's still a bit of a blur to me now because you're suddenly there. We won the MK and Bucks award,
Yeah.
and there was two groups, to be fair, and I knew, and the owner of the other group I know extremely well. It's one of my sponsors now. He said, "You're going to win this," and to be fair, it was a 2-horse race,
Yeah.
and to see our name in lights at the MK Dons in the ballroom with I think 350 or so people, so I think about 35 tables of 10, was amazing. That put you into the final, and there it was at Wembley. And 700 or so, real lavish night as well, and it was absolutely terrific. And there was 10 networking groups. Naturally went in for it. So I went with sort of 3 of my sponsors, and I thought let's have a night out. Let's see how it goes. Well, let's see it. Let's see how the evening goes. And then up came the silver winner. And then to see my name in lights at Wembley with 700 people and quite a few people in a room that I knew on different tables, and this huge roar when we won. It gets me now just thinking about it. And then there I was on stage, and there we are. And you can't argue with it because we're talking about 10 other groups.
Yeah.
And they were extremely good. Looking at all the websites in the run-up to it, they look extremely well to do business groups around Surrey, London, Bristol, and so on.
But you say 10 other groups. These are 10 other groups, award-winning groups that have won in their sector that are then coming up there. So it's not just 10 that have entered. No, this is 10 that have already got to the top, and now they're in this one.
Yeah, and it's so really. There's times I've had to pinch myself, and that's and I'm also a judge now for them as well, because that's all part and parcel of winning the awards. Then you judge for next time.
Yeah,
and I was only saying to someone a couple of days ago the importance of, if you're a judge, and you're there, you do it online. Don't rush it. Have respect for that business. So I made sure I took about 2 hours and just really research that business and to make that judgment, basically. So that's important to me. It's respect all round, and that's it. Pleases me to think people do that with me. But no, it really was. It was an amazing night, and it just and we'll get to my little history, I think so. But we're a very small business, and it's literally me and my daughter who does 16 hours. So it's from nothing.
Yeah, no, it's nice.
That's the story.
Underdog story.
Yeah. Basically, that's the good word. Yeah.
So your trophy, is it like people that win the Oscars? Is it in the loo, downstairs loo? Where have you put this, or is it? Have you got a big cabinet now, or?
There's 2 sat next to each other. So literally, because my office is a man cave, and that's it basically. I don't need anything else because I'm out and about. And that's all. As long as I've got my 2 monitors, my PC. Yeah. That's my whole business all in one here. It's because it's all about being out there and doing the events. But no, the two trophies are sort of sat on top of my CD holder, TV there. So
you're gonna have to get a bigger cabinet soon, I'm sure.
That's right. And to be fair, some events, because I'm very proud of it, but I'm not very good at talking about me. I'm uncomfortable in my seat talking about it now. But I've got an A3 pull-up which goes on the signing in desk, and but that's about where it stops at an event, because I'm a firm believer it's not about me.
Step back.
It's what I can do for you.
Yeah.
But when people do so, it was a few weeks. It was the first week, because this was the beginning of December when I won it, and then of course networking stops the whole of Christmas. And as soon as we were back in January, my breakfast event, and then someone said, "You deserve a round of applause for winning." And I just sank in my seat. And I actually hid behind a pull-up banner and put my head
I can
out.
imagine.
I just couldn't do that. And it was this great roar of "well done." And then it happened again at the brunch event as well, which is straight after.
I think sometimes you just have to embrace it, just accept it for what it is, and just say, "Look, appreciate it. Thank you very much. Let's stop that now." Because you've given me a clap. That's amazing, but I just want to go back to doing what I've been doing.
Basically, honestly, that's me all over. The inner me is going, but the outside is like, I can't deal with this attention. Albeit I host sometimes 100 people or so. That's okay. That's what I do. But sometimes you get that real focus, and it's like, oh, hang on a minute. Because again,
that's just human nature, isn't it?
Human nature, isn't it? And I'm not, my world of 30 years was me and a team of 5, 6, maybe 10 people, and the odd conference here and there, but nothing to the scale of networking and that type of thing. It's a completely different world, but again, that's over 11 years ago now.
So I had this. You mentioned when we were coming up, my background in construction,
Yes.
and I used to do prior to my business. That setup was working on huge country house estates.
Yeah.
And I got very comfortable doing it. And a lot of people that were striving to be at that level sort of saying, well, how do you not get overwhelmed by it? And I said, well, I was always taught that it's just, you know how to do one room, and this is just lots of rooms all together.
Yeah.
And then I applied that logic to being in a bigger group where talking one-on-one's fine.
Yeah.
Well, you're just talking to lots of
Yeah.
more, right? You just break it down. It's just not an overwhelm. So you can talk one-on-one, great. What's the difference?
Exactly.
You know, that's kind of it, isn't it? When you
Yeah.
look at it, strip it back. And it's that's how I start to view the world in a funny way, that just don't get overcomplicate it.
No. I'm guilty of that, by the way, but I'm sort of trying to uncomplicate things. I've met so many copywriters and so on and so forth recently, and automation people, and think, I just need to uncomplicate my mind. It's difficult with so much going on. But there are certain things that's not a failing of mine, but it's something I do need to look at. But so
we can all get lost in our mind.
Yeah.
Right, so we're going to struggle for getting these all done, but we'll get. Also, I say I do 10 questions. I've put 12 on it, so I don't help myself in this.
I love it.
We'll be all right. So, next question then, please. Why do you think people connect so strongly with Collaborate MK compared to other groups?
Ooh, yeah.
And this isn't to throw other groups under the bus, but naturally you've got nearly 300 members.
Yeah.
Which is astonishing, by the way.
Yeah.
Congratulations. I'll get everyone to give you a clap when we go downstairs.
Yeah.
But not only do people are attracted to join, but they stay, clearly. It's not a rotation of fringe members each year. This is people that stayed with you since you've set up 5.5 years ago.
Yeah, it is. It is. I think it's because, from a financial point of view, I make things good value. Being an ex-retailer and launching a business when we couldn't even do face-to-face events in the middle of lockdown, you're not going to make things expensive. And I've made sure I've kept things expensive. And yes, as of a month ago, September 1st, we've gone VAT registered. We sort of hit that point. So it's a nice, in a way, that's a nice problem to have, and so on and so forth. But I'm determined to keep good value. So I think there's that side of it, which is important, because small business will have to look at every single penny that's coming and going. Nothing new there. But I want to make sure of that. But what it's all about is just making sure that our events have that lovely warm welcome, whether it's by me at a small event when we're sort of 25 to 30 to an event, or whether it's me and my support team at an event where our highest ever attendance was 122 January of this year. You know, I thought, oh my word, people are going to be overwhelmed when they suddenly see this huge amount of people. It's not. I've run events of that scale before, but this is the first one for me in my MK Dons days and Business MK days. We had that sort of scale of people. But making sure that warm welcome is there. And that particular event was my wife and my daughter, so there was no choice. They will smile.
Yeah.
It will be the warm welcome. Then I got a support team around me as well. I think it's 15 of them that night. And they keep an eye out and just make sure if there's someone on the edge, not wanting to go and interrupt a conversation and so on. And not everybody knows the done thing. What I also do for new people is when I send the itinerary out for that event, which is usually on the day, if it's an evening event, or the day before, if it's a lunch event, or breakfast brunch, if it's your first event, reply as quick as you can, and I'll match you up to one of my support team.
That's the side business, is it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
up.
that's gone extremely well.
That's why you've got so many good numbers. It's a matchmaking service. They can't escape now.
Yeah. But that's important to me. Then, and when I do look around, when I'm sort of just what I call grabbing the mic, an hour into the event, when I introduce the sponsors and the guest speaker and business card draws, and I do look out. And I look out for the new people, and it's lovely to see smiles on their faces because they suddenly feel comfortable at the event, which is not easy. I've been there myself, and in my early days of networking 11 years ago, I've sometimes felt uncomfortable being there because it wasn't potentially the wrong place.
Daunting, intimidating.
And it could have been cliquey. So when I put all this together, I wanted to make sure, literally listed everything about network events, good, bad, and indifferent. All things I used to do in my retail world. 2 lists, put the 2 together, solve the problems, and if it ain't broke, don't
And
try
then
and fix
deliver it.
that and deliver.
Yeah.
And I feel I do.
Of course you are. Hold on. 300 members and national award for the best networking group of the year. So,
yes.
Can you keep on going, or is it?
No.
Which way is this going now?
It has
It
to.
can't be in a decline. Hopefully
No.
not, because it's how you build from these things, don't you? And all the experiences and lessons.
Oh, totally. If I was 10 years younger, I'm 62 now, and I've got to be looking at the end result.
Yeah.
And I can't physically host anymore. That's just more of a time factor.
Yeah.
And I could it will plateau things if you're not too careful. But
Yeah.
a lot of people do say to me, "Oh, could you hold an event in Toaster? Could you hold an event here?" And I thought, love to, but no. I might go up the route of other people hosting.
Yeah.
But that's probably 2 to 3 years away.
Yeah.
It's going to be the 10 events that I do now, keeping to that, because I've no reason for any of them to go. There's no real reason for me to expand that a little bit more. But that might be a different conversation if the right thing comes along. But I've got to be careful of time.
Yeah. Well, it's time. I think there's 2 important factors, I would say. It's time, and it's also your positive energy.
Yeah.
Because when you come to these events, obviously you can't be.
Yeah.
Well, you had hosts, and I know you said you'd like to just sort of show away, but you can't also.
No.
But you can't turn up to these when you're just running on zero, for one.
Yeah.
You can't come with negative attitude, mentality, mindset.
No.
So it's not just your time, but it's having the positive energy to be able to do it as well.
Oh, yeah.
And you've only got so much. This is the point, isn't it?
Oh,
because every time you have these conversations, you host events, it depletes a bit until you recover.
Oh, yeah.
And so if you keep just chipping away, you're diluting you and what you're delivering. So it's a balance, time and energy. Hey,
that sums it up entirely. Because if it's something, hang on, 12, we could do that. There's a bit of breathing space there. We could do one in Toaster, one in Aylesbury or something like that. You think no, because the time involved is the planning and organising is probably that drains me more than the actual event itself.
Turning up,
and that's why I'm hesitant of having someone else hosting, because hang on, if I've done all that hard work, I might as well go and host it. That's not the tiring
that's
bit.
not the
You've
bit.
got to keep that energy going. But I've got great people that can step in if for any reason I can't make it to an event. So I've got a plan B for every event, just in case. It might be health, it might be a good reason, personal reason. So that's where the support teams step in. They're all volunteers basically, but they've got people to step in if needed. So that side of it's fine.
One or two of them may surprise you on the hosting, and actually you feel really comfortable after the next few months or year to say, "Go on."
Yeah,
absolutely do it, because funny enough, you're better than me at this now. So off you go. Thank you very much, and go ahead. And if it has that same feel and vibe to it all.
My nose wouldn't be paid out of joint. I'd treat that as it's a bit like someone in my retail days of employing someone. They've gone on to something bigger and better. That's the way I'd look at it. My view would not be,
just be proud.
No, I'm quite the opposite. It needs to be the right person at the right event at the right time. But that could easily happen, to be fair. And if suddenly me hosting 8 out of the 10, then that's fine. That's not out of the question at all. It's just more the expansion of another event on top. Because we do social events on top of it. Every quarter we do 10-pin bowling networking.
I've seen. I was on the website and I was having a look. There's a lot going on.
And we do a lot with the MK Dons as well. That's more of a social. For match days, we sponsor a couple of matches and an exec box. That's part of my mixture from my marketing budget and and sponsorship budget. It's a lot going on over and above the 10 that I do.
Keeps you out of trouble, eh?
No.
No, I forgot a question about keeping out of trouble. I don't know. All right, I know we've covered that, so I'll go this one. So we use the word networking. And so networking can mean so many different things, which it can. Everyone interprets it differently. But what does true collaboration mean to you? Because that's part of the name.
Yeah, and this is what struck me. If you'd asked me when I was at the Dons, I was in the commercial team for 4 years, I would go to events and I'd be literally really searching for the guest list and just see who can I talk to that's got a budget for an advertising board, match sponsorship, and so on and so forth. And it was lockdown that sort of taught me But there is no choice because you're targeted like
Mhm.
anybody in a business development role. But I'd still be my own sort of personal self,
Mhm.
and that got me the business at the Dons. That helped me right the way through. But where I'm going with this is that during lockdown, I could see on our first ever Zoom call, which 25 of us on the call, our very first one, people still recovering from being told to be in lockdown. We're only 4 days into lockdown when we did our first event. I could suddenly see we had 25 on screen. We didn't even know what breakout rooms were in those days because
You have
we
to
didn't
learn
have the
quick,
account.
didn't you?
It was only when we set up a bit of sponsorship and we actually paid for the account. Oh, look, there's breakout rooms. Because a
Yeah.
free account, you don't see it.
120 quid a year, whatever it was, to have your Zoom Pro, whatever it was.
Oh, it's nothing. That's how I could perform the business because that was my only outgoing for
Yeah.
the first 9 months. But what I saw was this supportive nature because I think someone was close to tears because their business was strong. Obviously, it's not as though lockdown was a surprise. We had that build up to it. But at the same time, when you're suddenly told that's it, their business
There's a
was on the
reality
floor,
to it then, isn't there?
then she jumped on the call. I could see tears in her eyes, and someone said, "I'll help you. I'll do this." I'm trying to remember now. I'm pretty sure it was social media support or something because it was. And I think there was a printer there. I can't print at the moment because we can't go out. But when we come out of this, which it could have been 6 weeks at the time,
Yeah,
could have been
no
2
idea.
weeks.
Yeah.
Who knew then?
Yeah.
I'll do your printing for you. And I just thought, my word, this is good. And then we just carried on each week doing Zoom calls, very similar. Then we discovered breakout rooms and so on. And I just wanted to really encourage supportiveness and collaboration. Is then I don't use the word competitor anymore. There's just no need for it. But people from the same industry talk to each other. And one of the very early Zoom calls. I wanted to give it a theme. I thought it was something different because it was every week, and I thought we've got to get stuck in a rut here. So we gave it a theme, and because so many people sort of gone from an office and working from home, cybersecurity side of things is the scale of it now is immense. But in those days, people just plugging into the routers. And company's business is just there. So we had an IT themed. I think I chopped it. I think it was just for half an hour, so 2 breakout rooms. And I got 4 IT company who had a bit of preparation. So I've got 4 IT business owners on a Zoom call. And I thought they're going to be at each other's throats here because it's quite a competitive world. They all got on really well. I made sure they were relaxed. And I think even at that time, you can do that because one of my guys is not actually that strong on that particular area of IT. We'll have another Zoom call and let's compare notes or words to that effect. And I think they ended up subcontracting. This has gone back 6 years now. So it was that one that made me think, let's get everybody talking to each other. 2 website designers, 2 photographers, just get people talking to each other. And they realize, learn and support each other. And one client may not be the right fit for one business, but perfect for someone else. Especially in business coaching. Sometimes that fit. Yeah, I'm saying that's the right person. You may not be the right fit. And sometimes you know straight away, no. Yeah. But I tell you what, you get on so well with so on. Then the other way around, it's like, would never have happened in my retail days. You wouldn't say, oh, we haven't got it, but go and try there. I didn't, because I was incredibly competitive. There might be the odd beer in there, depending on who it was. But anyway, lockdown turned my whole mindset the other way around. And I think it's worked. But
you're getting there.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely, you'll make it.
And also, in those early days, just a quick story on that collaboration. There was 4 people on the Zoom call. They got to know each other, and the knock-on effect is they built a transport collaboration between. They sort of got together and just formed a transport collaboration. Transport world don't particularly network. What they called it Milton Keynes Transport. Oh, it's gone out of my head. MKTP. But anyway, we had someone from insurance, someone from a transport management consultancy, and a solicitor, and van hire, car leasing and van leasing and so on. So you got the perfect 4, and 3 of them actually moved into an office together. This is about 4 or 5 years ago. So that's what happens, and the power of conversation. And that was real early days. And to be fair, nothing like that's happened since.
Power of conversation, but also being vulnerable and letting your guard down.
Yeah,
is a big thing.
Yeah.
And networking, I think sometimes going back to what it means to certain people, you can come in with your guard up
Yeah.
and a little bit protective.
Oh,
as you
yeah.
say,
Mhm.
if you're going into that world for the first time, or maybe you've been in that environment, like you say, where it's very
Yeah.
much, this is mine.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, just letting that down just even a tiny bit, and you can start to see, actually, hold on, well, that's a nice person. I can talk to them.
Yeah.
Or they do something similar to me. Like you, the example about client not quite right. Actually, they're a nice person, and that they're introduced to me as a client for coaching. I'm not quite right, but they're right.
Yeah. Sometimes you can
Now
tell.
I've had this conversation,
Yeah.
I'll introduce you.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah.
But you don't do it unless you've,
Oh.
you've dropped
Oh.
that barrier. Hey,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think that's when you collaborate. That's when the
Oh, yeah.
collaboration can start to happen.
And sometimes you're going to make that quite a quick judgment. Very often, I'm on a Zoom on one of our Zoom events, and there's 6 in the room, and I'm leading that room of conversation, and I think, and very often I've got you two need to talk to each other, and they both said, yeah, we were both thinking the same. So it's nice in a way you're sort of transmitting that message, but I sort of build up to that. I don't say within 30 seconds of us being on the screen of 6, like give it the 12 minutes.
Talk.
Next.
Yeah.
I'm off.
I'm done. Mic drop. This is it. Zoom ended.
And you've got to, because I know so many people, and sometimes you think, no, those people will not get on.
Yeah.
No, that won't work. So yeah, and that does help when you get to know the business community. You think,
Yeah, but you
not
do.
everybody wants
and taking
to
the time
talk
to get to know them.
Oh,
That's it.
and that takes a bit of time.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
All right. But you've answered the next one. I'll put it about the story.
Sorry.
No, that's what it is. I'll go to here because we've done so much of this, which is nice.
Yeah.
There's a few to finish up on.
Yeah.
So, have you faced moments of doubt along the way, and what helped you keep on building?
Without a doubt, in those early days, because you think at the end they packed in a job. I don't think the job would have lasted much more than 3 or 4 months, because we're in the publishing world, we weren't printing the paper, and it was just one of those where, and I really had this desire to work for myself. Sort of 57 at the time. You do hit a point where, much as I work for some great people, I love my time at the Dons, and the editor of Business MK, who got on extremely well with, but it's just one of those points. Hang on a minute, I need to be the master of my own destiny. It's going to be 13 years or so from there before I retire, and I really want to be my own boss. And that was my huge desire. But there was little moments at the beginning. You think, what have I done? Is this really going to pay? Because how long is a piece of string? Yeah. When was lockdown going to come out? But because I had no outgoings, just that Zoom account, and the website did go horribly wrong, and it's clawed that back, just basically moving it to the correct person, and after good advice. But that expense had to be made because there was no face-to-face networking, so it was only Zoom and LinkedIn.
That was a choice.
And no website, and website was taking ages, and they're all fine in the end. But that was a good 6 months after I launched before it was in a good place to be. That's where I had doubts at the beginning. But as soon as Boris let us out, and as soon as I had 110 people come to my first event, and at the MK Gallery that I absolutely love, that really hit it for me for the simple reason.
For you, for why you were going to do it.
Oh, yeah, just that's the word I'm looking for. It just really sort of, let's say, very much cemented, reinforced that that's what I want. And then after that, we dropped one of the Zoom calls. We still 2 now. We had 3 at the time. Dropped 1, introduced an MK meetup, as we call it. So MK Gallery, then MK Theatre. Then COVID sort of crept back in again towards Christmas, and all was fine once we got past Christmas, and sort of COVID was like a distant memory.
Yeah, and people just wanted to get on anyway, didn't they? That was there's a willingness just to go. Okay, we've done that bit. Can we just move forward, please?
And that was the whole thing. And that first MK Gallery event, just on 5 years ago, was in September. And there was people hugging and kissing. There was about 2 masks between. Oh my God. Yeah, but everything was fine. But some people had never met before. Some people only knew each other from Zoom. And some just hadn't, they were good friends, but hadn't met for the last 18 months or so. So it was a really, really good event. There's my wife and my daughter behind the signing in desk as well. So that really sort of helped me along to that. This is our first one. Let's see how we get on. And 5 years on, here we are, So yeah, it is quite a story, and I'm just, it does get me thinking when I get moments like this to talk about it. Because because one event rolls into another, and each one just rolls along. And I love every second of it. But it's like you do look back and think, hang on, we have really built something really good here.
I always think it's really important to take a breath
Yeah,
and look back,
yeah,
especially I talk about in the coaching world a lot about growth,
yes,
and people don't often see their growth, and
yeah,
they would consider themselves a failure because they're comparing against others and whatnot. But it's only when you stop and just look at the last 12 months. What have you achieved? Last
yeah,
2 years, what have you achieved?
yeah,
Last 5 years, what have you achieved?
yeah,
And there's this whole thing about I heard it ages ago about reframing how you see yourself, so you don't see yourself as a failure when you're comparing others.
yeah,
It's that your ambition lies beyond the success you've already enjoyed,
yeah,
and so you want to keep. There's a willingness to just keep on moving
yes,
forward, but you should still realise you are successful. You
yeah,
have been successful, and
yes.
you only know that when you've taken a pause.
That's,
Otherwise, you
yeah,
just keep on drifting forward, and you don't
yes.
celebrate yourself.
No,
And
no.
take your wife and daughter out
Yeah,
this weekend, perhaps,
yeah.
and go and celebrate. And go, do you know what? Actually, being VAT registered is a good thing.
Yeah,
These
yeah,
are these milestones that
that's true.
if you didn't 2-3 months down the line, it's you kind of just go, well, that's what we do now. That's who we
Yeah.
are. And these are
Oh,
big things.
it certainly is. Yeah. No,
So yeah,
no, it's real sort of food for thought. Yeah, it's not. It's lovely to have this conversation to sort of take me back because you get to just one day rolls into another. But
yeah,
that's life. It's a
yeah.
nice problem to have. It's a nice problem to
Well, we'll finish
have.
on a couple, if that's all right.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be mentioning 40 years experience each time. With over 40
No,
years
it's true.
experience.
Truth hurts, but yeah.
But in a nutshell, over 40 years, what's something new you've learned about people and business through Collaborate MK? Because you've gone that time. We've talked about what you learned at the start when you were younger, but 5 years now.
Yeah.
What's something new? This is a
Yeah.
new first time as a business owner.
Yeah. Yeah. It is, and it is a real eye opener. I think it's the fact that people are keen to work together. Because you've been asked me sort of 4.5 years ago, I thought, well, that person will not get on with that person. It's not going to work because I just had a bad
Yeah, but that
experience with
sounds
their
like you're
website.
making their mind up. That's it as well, isn't it?
No. Yeah. And I don't force anybody to do anything.
Yeah.
It's all going to happen. But what's happened is these relationships have just formed organically. Just by being there. And all I'll say to anybody is, there's no pressure to be at every event or in one, come to two. That's why I do so many. And they're all built into the memberships. But that's all I say to anybody is be consistent.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you'd be forgotten.
Yeah.
You'd be forgotten after about 3 months because someone else will come in doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say. So where I'm going with that is that as long as people are consistent and they'll make a beeline for that other regular person at the event and so on, and that helps form those relationships. That's what I love to see grow from scratch, especially when a new member starts and they say to me, oh, I've just had a meeting with so and so, and oh yeah, we're going to work together. How great is that? If I wasn't here, that would not have happened.
Yeah.
And nothing different to all the other networking groups out there. And I respect every single other networking group as well.
Yeah.
Don't say, leave there and come and join me. Not even close.
Yeah.
And we may get to this question, but we've got 2 events lined up with 2 large networking communities, and so looking forward to those. But in a nutshell, we have a joint event with MKFM, and we've already got 240 people booked for that one. That's in 6 weeks' time, November the 12th. And also Aruna Rao, Busy Networking. We've been working on something for about 18 months. That's a good example of get to know someone first. It took about 3 lunches and then said, right, this is what we'll do then. And we're holding an event January the 30th, which is going to be more 4 hours of connecting people. But there's no animosity, there's no conflict in there. We wouldn't be doing the event together if we didn't.
Well, so it should be called
We've worked each
Competition
other
MK,
out.
not Collaborate MK,
No,
right?
exactly. Just
Again, the clues in the title, isn't it?
No, this is it. But it's that whole theme of, and that what we're going to do is send that message over of talk to people, not competitor, talk to people in your same industry. You've nothing to lose from quick coffee or just a quick, big MKFM event. Go and have a little chat over there. There's always big venues. Have a chat over there when you can. Yeah, good idea. Let's finish that conversation. So that's the message we want to get across. It's not nicking each other's members. Why would we want to do that?
Yeah. And just people make their own mind up.
The people, I treat
the grown-ups
people like adults.
Yeah.
That's the one thing. That's why I don't dictate anything at my events. Just here's the events.
Yeah.
That's
Do you
what we do.
enjoy it? Do you want to join?
Give
Yes
me
or no?
feedback. Yeah, I'm very relaxed like that.
That's about the level of
Yeah.
pressure you're going to get.
Yeah, that's it. Just anybody new comes to an event, there's a membership pack. Have a flick through it. I'll pop you an email just for some feedback on the event,
Yeah.
Zoom call or a coffee if you wanted to. But if not, it's one of those where I'm very relaxed.
Well, here we are. Are you ready?
Yeah.
When you look at the difference you're making through collaboration, what do you hope people remember about you and your work? This is the last question, Ollie.
I think it is that my whole world is the 10 events I do. And when people do leave, whether it's 120 in the room or 20 in the room, and they say, "That was such a nice event. I met some lovely people tonight." That is the most satisfying thing for me across the board, because that's what I've created. But what really strikes me is that we do attract some really nice people as well, which really helps. And the word nice can be construed in various ways, but all of it's a good, pleasant atmosphere.
Yeah, but that comes from the person who's organising it, doesn't it?
It potentially does. And this is where I start to sink in my seat,
No, but it does.
Yeah, just be friendly, warm welcome when they get there, and you won't see. Sometimes you might see the odd person running around with business cards going, "What's that? That's spamming. Don't do that." And that's only one time. It was at another event actually. I said, "Don't do that."
Yeah.
I know you booked into one of mine next week. Please don't do that, because it's not helping you. It's your brand.
Yeah.
And it wasn't his business. It was somebody who worked. He was a BDM for that business. Don't do that. You're damaging your brand. It was very pleasant. That was very pleasant. It's just all I'm saying is that's not good practice to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't. If you want to impress your sales manager when you get back the next day, I don't think he or she will be that impressed either, because you're not gaining anything.
Yeah.
But that was just one of my little things. But I don't dictate anything at my events. I just like people to just relax, go with the flow,
enjoy themselves,
and
want to come back.
Oh, I want to come back. That's the big thing for me.
Yeah,
and that's how the community is built. And we haven't even touched on our WhatsApp group with 232 people in it.
No, because we're going to you're going to break the record for the longest one ever, I think.
Right, yeah.
You might do. Who knows?
But that's very supportive as well. It's 24/7. It's not just events. It's very much what we do in between, recommendations, referrals, and so on.
The in between,
the in betweens, joining the gaps in between events.
Well,
sorry.
As this is shining the light on you, how can the people listening, and also the TAP community, people who've been on the podcast as well, because they're the biggest fans of podcasts, because they've been on it and they're seeing it grow from their nominations of people.
Yeah.
So how can they help you?
Well, come along to an event, and it's everything I've been saying. There's no pressure on anybody. I don't ring the next day or by the time they got home. I always do a follow-up around about a week later. Unless someone said to me at the end of the event, "Oh, I'd love to join," then I'll pop them a message and let's have a Zoom call or coffee and just confirm things. But anybody that's just gives me a nice little message on LinkedIn, on my LinkedIn posts, then I'll follow up. But come along and see what we're all about. That's all I'll say. On the basis that no one's forced to join. It's just a case of come along to the events as a non-member on a regular basis. That's not a problem either. It's open to everybody.
I'll lead by example and come along to the next one then if I'm allowed.
Yes, you're very welcome. You're very welcome.
I was hoping you don't go on, well, we'll discuss that afterwards.
Yeah, that's right. You have a completely different opinion. You're very welcome. Yes.
If you allow me, I'll come along.
Yes.
So, for how this podcast carries on, continues on, people like yourself get to nominate your two amazing people.
Yes.
So, I should have asked you before filming. Do you know who you are nominating as your two amazing people and why?
It's put no pressure. But it's someone we just bumped into actually.
Oh, really?
And that's Rimal Rabaru.
Okay.
I'd like him to be one of my nominations.
Yeah.
And I really will have to. No. It's Amanda Wright from Yellow Yo-Yo. Local marketing. She's local marketing company, because I learned a lot from her in the early days of Collaborate MK.
Yeah.
And she's very supportive right the way through, and she's like Mrs. Milton Keynes. She really does know a lot of people, and she's introduced me to so many people who who have come along to the events and so on. So yeah, so Remo Rabaroo and Amanda Wright.
Nice. You see, this is the thing,
Yeah.
putting you on the spot. But also, your gut instinct, you kind of know your people.
Yeah.
If you were to write a list of, I don't know, your 300 members and your 300 other people that you'd put on that list and go through it all, you come back to your gut instinct. That's what I've always believed. The ones where you just go, well, they've popped into my head. Well, they're the right ones. Looking forward to it. Enjoy it?
Yeah, brilliant.
Come on, and I say this every time. I need to check it's recorded.
Love it.
Hey? And that the camera hasn't moved and that you're in shot. And we're all good.
Good.
So there you go. That was Tim's episode, and I hope you agree he is an absolutely cracking guy, an amazing guy. I know I say that after every single one, but it's true. The whole purpose of this is to shine a light on amazing people, and Tim is one of those amazing people. If you want to reach out and get in contact with Tim, then let me know. And you've probably learned from watching this episode that he is the sort of person that would love to have a chat to you, and if he can help you in any way, then he absolutely will. Please keep on watching, please keep on supporting, and I hope you're enjoying the podcast. Thank you.